As we mentioned on a previous video, there are a lot of questions regarding Phase 4 and about the new movies and series coming out, and among those is Shang-Chi. So in this video, we're going to explore who this character is. Welcome to Comiczuka, my name is Malcolm. Now, today we're going to talk about Shang-Chi. Now, this is just one of those characters that he's not at least well known, right? Or at least not to a lot of people. And since we got the announcement that a movie's coming out of Shang-Chi, so why not explore a little bit about this character? Now, what we can tell you is that the character was created by Steve Englehart and by Jim Starlin. Now, the character was originally developed around the late 1972. Now, the idea here is that what Marvel wanted to do was to acquire the rights to Kung Fu. Now, Kung Fu was a television program that was owned by Warner Communications. So as you can tell, since Warner are the owners of DC Comics, and DC Comics are rival of Marvel, there was no way they were going to get the permissions that easily. So what happened was, with this, they started to get the comic book rights to a British author named Sax Rohmer. Now, here's the thing. He had a comic book series which had this pulp villain known as Dr. Fu Manchu, and of course, among other characters. So Marvel got the rights for all this, and then, of course, they developed Shang-Chi, having, of course, the first comic book appearing with the character in December of 1973. Now, the first appearance of this character was in the comic book Special Marvel Edition number 15. Now, of course, the character will appear again, right, in a couple of editions. We're talking about issue 16 and issue 17, but it was in number 17, which it came out in April of 1974. Marvel decided to change the title to The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. Yeah, quite a mouthful. Now, the entire thing here is that since the series came out in the 70s, we have to understand that in the 1970s, there was like this big boom related to everything that had to do with martial arts in the US. So, of course, this series became extremely popular, right? And it survived until issue number 125 in June 1983. So it was until then that it was canceled. After this, of course, we will see special collections, right, of the character, and of course, a lot of guest appearances. Even most recently, we have seen him appear as a member of the Avengers. Now, basically, when we talk a little bit about the character, what we can tell you about his origins is that Shang-Chi was born in China. His father being Fu Manchu, a Chinese mastermind, that his main purpose was for world domination. Now, here's the thing. His mother, of course, is from the US, but from there on, Shang-Chi was practically living with his father, and his father started to train him, heavily trained, right, in everything that had to do with martial arts. And at the same time, his father kind of, we could probably say, brainwashed him in a way, to make him think that actually the intentions of his father, well, Fu Manchu, was for doing like benevolent things, or fight against anything that would be threatening peace in the world. So we have Shang-Chi believing all this, and Shang-Chi will go out on all sorts of missions with the idea that, well, what he's doing is saving the world. At the end of the day, he finds out that no, definitely his father is evil, and he vows to fight against his father and against all the evil doing from his father. Now let's talk about powers and abilities, and it's here where this character shines among all others. Now within the Marvel Universe, he's known to be the greatest hand-to-hand combat fighter ever, and either as hand-to-hand or even handling weapons. Now, if you take a look, you're gonna find top 10 listings out there of the greatest Marvel fighters. He's usually number one on the list. Aside of this, he's also been a great teacher, having students such as Captain America, Wolverine, Domino, and even Spider-Man, right, being among his students, where he will teach them the hand-to-hand combat and kung fu, basically. Aside of that, he's very in tune with his Shi. Now, in most recent years, what we've seen is that he's been giving special equipment, either done by Tony Stark, which has been like a pair of braces that will allow him to focus his Shi more, or a pair of repulsor-powered nunchakus. Now, we could see this in the moment that he joins the Avengers, and we could read it in Avengers Volume 5, issues 2, 3, and 11 back in 2013. But also in most recent times, they gave him superpowers just because he was exposed to comic radiation, right? What this did was gave him the capability to do unlimited numbers of duplications of himself. Now, this came out in Avengers Volume 5, issue number 38 at the end of 2014. But still, with or without superpowers, this guy is unstoppable. He's one great fighter, and he really doesn't need superpowers because, I mean, his only superpower is knowing a lot about martial arts. Well, that's all the time we have today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please like the video. Now, if it's your first time here in Comiczuka, and if you're enjoying our content, why not subscribe? And at the same time, hit that little bell so you can always get notifications when new videos are up. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, here in Comiczuka, we're saving the day one comic book at a time. See you guys next time.